At the very beginning of the episode, we see a father in Hedge Village ushering two children who had been left outside into the church, and then he speaks.
Thank goodness. Are these two twins? But from their behavior, one seems very quiet, while the other appears to be a little devilish. So this proud child's name is Uno, and this naughty child's name is Asta.
Then we see a scene 15 years later where some farmers are using magic for farming, and near the church, Faith is speaking to Sister Lily. 1.
One day, I will become the Wizard King and make you incredibly happy, so please marry me.
But Sister Lily refuses him, and we see that Asta was not accepting at all. And then Sister Lily hits a punch of Asta with her magic and then starts apologizing to Asta. But we see Faith still does not believe, and then we see you stop it with your magic, and then Faith says,
If so, why are you in the middle?
You say no because your behavior is very useless, and if you stay like this, no girl will give you any emotion. Faith then says in anger,
We grew up together and now you are me.
If you are saying this, then you say that Asta's sister Lily serves God, so she cannot marry anyone. Then Faith asks Yuno to fight, refuses, and then Nash says,
Forget it, Faith. You can never defeat Yuno.
And then Faith starts trying to do something. Then Nash says,
You don't have magic? I can't believe a boy of your age couldn't even use magic.
Then Faith speaks.
I'm bigger than you. Talk to Samosa Tamiz.
Then Nash says, absolutely.
No, magic is everything in this world. The more magic it has, the more important it is. And you cannot use any magic.
If you believe this way, so do I.
Now, I must demonstrate my special move for you.
And we see Faith starts exercising on the other hand, Yuno is drying clothes with his magic, which makes all the children very happy. And then we see it. Father and C come there and say,
You remain the sole hope of this church.
And that's what Sister Lily says with Faith.
Very soon the awarding ceremony is coming, and when you will get the green peacock, then you will be able to choose magic.
Faith feels immense happiness upon hearing this.
Once I rejoin Greenaway, I'll enter the Magic Knights and become the Wizard King. Isn't that right? Disagree?
Then Yuno ignores him and leaves there, which angers Asta, and he says running away.
You people, so just wait, I'll show you.
And this Sister Lily tells you to behave well with Faith and think.
Yuno was always crying, but that day he came back home with a wounded Faith. From that day on, he changed completely, and I never saw him cry. And now I remember that both of them have changed since that day. And Asta also always started coming home in dirty clothes. I don't know what he's doing there.
And here we see Faith exercising and saying, I visit regularly.
I will be king and no one can stop me, but I need to train myself first.
And then we are told that once a year in March, when the dandelion flowers start flying in the air, all over the Clover Kingdom, children over 15 years old are gathered and called the Grimoire Tower so that they can get their grimoire. With his help, increase magical power, and here one thinks Faith inside the Grimoire Tower.
When I get my grimoire, I will also be able to use magic, and then I will leave you behind.
I will give. Then some children here are making fun of Faith and Yuno and say we don't believe it. Such children also learn. The Magic Knights exam will be given in 10 months. Only the noble family and the royal family have so much strength that can pass this exam, and one of them cannot even use any magic. And this will be the only one in the entire country who cannot use any magic. And then he comes the owner of the Grimoire Tower and all that. He wants to go there, and he says,
No one from our area has made a visit till date, nor has reached any Hayash post in Magic Knights. So this time, I hope that maybe one of you will become the Wizard King someday. And now, is it time to take your grimoire?
And here we see all the people get their grimoire, and then here Faith says, what is mine?
The grimoire is late somewhere.
Then the master of that tower says,
You should try next year.
Hearing which, everyone starts mocking Faith, and only then do we see Yuno's grimoire suddenly shine. And then everyone sees that it is a 4-leaf lower grim, and then they say, Father.
This is exactly the same grimoire that belonged to the first wizard king.
Then Sister Lily says,
They say it contains immense power and incredible luck.
Then Yuno says, everyone listen up, the next wizard king, I will be, and everyone starts cheering him on. Faith then says in anger,
You just wait, you know very soon I will reach you because I am your only competitor.
Then you say that this can never happen, and goes from there, and then Faith is saying here,
I thought when I obtained a grimoire, I'd master magic. But look, I haven't received any grimoire yet. Nevertheless, I won't surrender easily. I won't let you win. I will show you the power of perseverance, even if it takes 100 years. I won't give up until I get a grimoire and prove myself as the Visit King. I'll demonstrate that anyone can achieve greatness in this world, regardless of being poor or orphaned, and you will see.
And that's what we see. A child becomes jeweled by Yuno and starts attacking him. And we see Yuno interrupts his attack without using his green war. And then we see from the war, it starts coming out and those two children start screaming. And then a person
declares, I can't leave you exposed like this. Don't try to resist, because my magic nullifies others' magic and actions.
Who are you after all? Then Repchi says,
I have a magical knight, and they kicked me out. So now I'm just a thief, and now I'm taking your dream wall.
So you say no, having told your name Repchi, is that correct? You must realize stealing grimoire is pointless. Then Repchi speaks.
I understand only the chosen by Grimoire himself can use it, and it's valuable on the black market. This green water has a lot of value. Even if 4-leaf clover chose you, you're still a child, and today is your very bad day that I am here. Your story is over before it starts, and this necklace looks great around your neck too.
Then lastly we see Faith arrives and strikes the wall. They collapse and speak.
After all, what's going on here? Why are you holding the grimoire of Yuno after all? You're a thief.
Then Rachi responds.
You're the one who never received grimoire.
Then he says, Faith.
Yes, I'm the same, but grimoire should belong only to its true master, so return it to you, no.
Refshi says,
You possess the audacity to try and stop me.
And starts using his magic, and then Yuno tells him to run away, but Asta starts moving towards Refchi, and as soon as he starts treating him as a punch, Refchi's chains stop Asta, but we see those chains attack Asta lethally. Then Faith thinks,
all these magic users can achieve this, even with so much physical training. I can't believe I couldn't defeat it.
Then Revachi starts laughing at Asta, then Asta responds,
It's not over yet. I will become Visit King for one day, then Revchi
says,
I need someone's help with these things. I can detect any magical power and look at you. There is not even a threat of magic inside you. So maybe this is why you have not got any Girim war. There is magic in this world, and you have no magic at all. So you are very precise.
Then Faith thinks,
if this is true, so no matter how hard I try, I will never be able to use magic.
Then Revachi says, Wizard,
forget about becoming a king. You won't even find a job, and your friends will laugh at your condition. This world doesn't need someone like you. You're just a loser, a total failure.
Yes, that's what I think.
This is true. I try as hard as I want, but there are some things in this world that I can't do, so maybe it will hurt me.
But then we see you say, you know, after all, who you are calling a loser. Faith is true that you cannot become the Visit King, because in reality, I will become the Visit King, but you are wrong about Faith. Asta is not a loser, he is my rival. And then Asta asks him to move away from there. And then we see Revachi starts getting scared. Then Asta says, Zara.
Wait, don't you? I'm really enjoying this moment right now.
And sometimes we see 5-leaf Glover coming to Asta. Then Yuno says, I knew Asta you would definitely get Grimoire. And we see from Asta's Grimoire, a sword starts to come out. Then Revachi says,
and you didn't have any magical powers at all, so how did you get this Grimoire? And then us.
It is said that the 3 leaves of the flower represent faith, hope, and love, and the fourth leaf contains good luck, and in the last fifth leaf flower in which the devil lives. We are shown a scene from 10 years ago where Asta and Yuno are running away, and Yuno is running away and falls down and starts crying, and then Asta picks him up and says, "You don't cry like that, I always do."
I'll go with you.
And they both start running towards the hill, and then here all these people are eating. Then Faith says,
When I grow up, will you marry me and cook for me like this?
then Sister Lily says,
Actually, this food is made by my father. Are you going to marry them?
and then Faith gets irritated by that, then says to you, "No, it can't happen. Sister Lily can't marry anyone." Then Faith says,
I won't lose heart.
and this Sister Lily is telling them the story of the first wizard king, in which it is written how the first wizard king defeated a demon and peacefully united, established. Then here the next day, Asta starts asking Sister Lily about the visited king. Then Sister Lily tells him,
Wizard King is a title that has been passed generation to generation. This is the power of the visited king, due to which there is peace in the Clover Kingdom, and he is the second most important person after the king.
then Faith says,
Will I be the next king?
both Sister Lily and Yuno are surprised to hear this. Then Sister Lily tells Faith when asked,
Because Visit King defeated Demon, it means he will definitely be much stronger and cooler. I just want to grow up to be like them. And once I become the Visit King, then I will be able to make your life easy, and I will fix this useless church. And once I become the Visit King, then you will marry me.
But Sister Lily refuses to do so again. Then we see that the winter season has arrived and Faith has its magic. He is trying to use it, and we see that there is no benefit of that effort. Then Faith says,
Sister Lily, I will help you, and later you will marry me.
and we see Sister Lily refuses again, and then Faith starts crying and insisting again, and here Yuno is handling the children. Then Faith, it says so.
I'll handle it. How difficult would it be for a future visionary king?
And we see, in the end, Sister Lily silences him. But then Father comes there and asks one of Yuno and Asta to do a job. And Asta is very excited to do this job. Then Father asks you to do that work, and they say,
This is a very important letter, so I cannot give it to Asta, so do this work secretly. I have to meet the mayor of the village, as we have to eat for the winter.
Then you go away with that letter. Then the line says by Faith.
So if you can't use magic, at least cut wood. Finally, you have something to do.
That's what makes Faith irritate, and here we see, once Honor kicks a person out because he doesn't have money, and then Yuno walks by and sees his pendant, the man starts smiling. Yes, Yuno successfully delivers that letter. Then that person Yonoko stops, and here Sister Lily is faking, Then he kills the person and takes his pendant, and is crying and asking for his pendant back and starts using his magic. Then he says, person,
If you fight with me with this useless money, you will be killed.
Only then we see that Fate comes and jumps on that man, but that man throws him away, but the path still does not leave that man, and that man is killing Faith again and again, but we see that Faith still does not give up. Getting fed up with that man throws that patent there and leaves there, and away he falls down, and you start apologizing to him. Then Faith says,
Don't worry about me. I told you before, I will always be with you.
And here in the present you are thinking, you have always done what we can never even think. And here Revachi is saying,
You didn't have any magic, so how did you get this green war? Are you after all?
North, Revachi begins to attack Asta with his calm way down his magic with his sword. Pod gives and starts attacking him with all his power and says,
Even if I don't have any magical powers, I will still be the Wizard King and never lose is my magic.
He slams him into the wall and declares,
I have always trained my body. It finally came to my work today.
And we are shown the scene of fast again, where you are asking for forgiveness from Faith. Then Faith says,
These are nothing. There is nothing wrong with you, and I will be the Wizard King, and save you and everyone else, and you will not have to worry about anything, and I will prove this to everyone. Even if you are poor, or an orphan, you can still be the Wizard King. Anyone can do this if they want to, whether it's me or you.
And then Yuno wipes his tears and says, from now on I will never be. I have thought that I will also become the Wizard King, and I will also be strong and save you all, so that I can make the lives of all of you good, and I will never give up. And here in the present Faith is showing you its grimoire. Then you say no, then you saved me again today, and one day I will definitely repay this loan. Faith, do you remember our promise? And then we are taught Vomumi, where they both consider each other as their rival. Then says Faith,
I can't believe you remembered that.
so Yuno says it was you, Faith, that gave me hope that people like us can also achieve something big in this world, and to accomplish it, then he both says we to become Visit King.
You're whole. I will live and live here.
We see a demon attack the city, and then a wizard comes and defeats it, and we are told that when there was a threat to the entire humanity because of a demon, then a lone wizard came and saved the entire humanity, and then he was given the status of Wizard King. He became a legend, and then we are shown the Wizard King of today's Clover Kingdom, who maintains peace in the entire Clover Kingdom, and then we are told that in Magic Nights there are 9 squads of wizards, and they all come under the Wizard King, and all these together keep their country safe. And here we see Faith is training with his sword, and a bird is staring at him again and again, and then Faith would hold its grimoire and say,
Even if I don't have any magic, then what happened, I will still touch the heights.
and he starts training again holding his sword and says,
I'm pretty sure that Uno will also be doing his special training, and then I can't go back.
we are told that Asta is preparing for the Magic Night entrance exam, which will be held in the royal capital of the Lower Kingdom 6 months from now, and this Uno is also preparing and says I should practice a little more. I'm pretty sure he must have been training too, and then say Father in Grim and Tower here.
I understand, Juno, but would it be right to exclude Faith in this exam, then?
Grim and the owner of the tower says,
If he truly wants to do it, then there's nothing wrong at all with that. Interestingly, there were other children who were here with us. However, they seemed scared to take the exam.
but Father is asking the same question again and again, and Grim and the owner of the tower is giving the same answer and says,
And I comprehended that if as the royal capital departs, you might feel a bit lonely.
Then the father says,
There is no such thing. Do we know that Faith is going to fail? What is the point of participating in this exam? And the rest of the kids will miss him so much, and you two will stop looking at me like that.
Then Sister Lily says,
I will definitely miss them as well, but I have to let them pursue their own paths. Then,
Grim and the owner of the tower says,
Ponder over this. Even in victory, Faith will ultimately return post-defeat.
Are you genuinely happy?
You are absolutely right. Even if you leave, Faith shall return to us. And now, speaking of Faith's grimoire, do you genuinely believe he is a grimoire, considering there is an absence of magic?
Then the owner of Greymore Tower says,
I don't know anything about it.
and he thinks.
5-leaf Glover, this is it. A very strange thing.
Meanwhile, Asta heads towards the church while training. Observing this, Asta Yuno starts running as well. Consequently, they both arrive at the church. Shall we then inquire from Faith?
which of the two came first?
Then he says pity.
Yono was a little faster than you.
Then Faith says, come on.
Let's see who gets into the church first.
Blows Faith in the air and says, I won. And here Faith is dreaming of becoming Visit King in his sleep. And next day Faith is training, and Nash comes to meet him and asks Faith.
After all, what are you doing here?
Then Nash says, I
was getting bored, so I came to watch the training of an idiot like you.
This makes Faith tense. Nash asks,
But I don't understand why you are giving Magic Night exams if you can't use magic at all. Are you going to fail in that?
Faith replies,
But it hasn't been decided yet. Look, now that I have Grimoire, then I can enter Magic Nights, and one day I will be the Visit King.
Then he says angrily,
It's never going to happen. People like us don't have the freedom to dream.
Then Faith comes to him and says loudly,
You can't give up like this. Anything can happen in this world. You look at me. I am following my dream. Even if you want to win, you are poor. Still, you can do anything. So I want to make people happy by fulfilling my dream and prove it by joining Magic Knights and becoming Visit King.
And here a party is held at night before Yuno and Asta go, and then Asta is looking at father with great love. Then the father says,
G alone. It's not for you. And by the way, it's only for Yuno, because Yuno will pass this exam. There is no need to be embarrassed after failing the exam. And anyway, no one is expecting that you will pass. No matter what happens, this will always be your home.
Then Faith says,
You will tell all these things even to you, father.
If you refuse, then you say Faith.
This is wrong thing. I will be the Wizard King for one day and then I will come back to marry Sister Lily.
Then Sister Lily strikes a punch of Faith with her magic and asks everyone to eat, and the next day they all start saying goodbye to Faith and Uno. Then Nash says, So much.
Don't worry. Faith will come back very soon. But if you somehow entered the Magic Night, then I will also believe that dreams come true in this world and I can become whatever I want. Then who knows if someday I too will become a Magic Knight then, both of them.
When we leave there, Sister Lily thinks,
I'm not sure that these two have grown up so much, and ever since I met Asta, he was always in full energy.
And tell that Faith was already like that, Sister Lily thinks.
And Yuno also became strong because of Faith. Best of luck, boys.
And it is, we are told, that in the summer, Faith and Uno made the royal cap, so that he can participate in the Magic Night exam. And royal capital is far away from Hedge Village. Then Faith says,
I don't know what the royal capital will look like and whether we will even meet the Visit King.
Then Yuno says we have to pass the Magic Night exam first before meeting them. Pasta says running away.
I have to arrive early and become the Visit King.
Then Yuno says that you can get there as soon as you like, but it has nothing to do with becoming the Visit King. And then Asta takes Sister Lily to walk around with him and is acting that thing. Then Yuno says, Are you a magic cake? You can fly without today. Then Faith tells me,
I'm sure I can do all of this with the help of my grimoire. If you don't give up, you can do anything. Let's train till we reach the royal capital.
And then they both get tired of running, but Faith is not giving up, but it stops them. And then they both start moving towards their destination comfortably and face all the difficulties that come along the way together. And then we are told that after a very long journey, Asta and Yuno finally reach the royal capital of Clover Kingdom. And there, the Magic Night entrance exam is waiting for them. And to pass this exam, they will have to fight with a lot of powerful opponents. And then we are shown the scene of the Clover Kingdom, where looking at different things, Faith is getting very excited. Then Yuno says that this place is very different from our village. Then Asta says,
So this is the Visit King's castle.
Then Yuno remarks that perhaps the king resides there, and Asta concurs.
What implications does this hold for me in the future?
Then Yuno states that it will be his, and Faith adds,
Don't worry, I'll give you a place to stay there.
And then they both start walking towards the castle. Then here in the church, Nash says, Faith.
This place seems so serene without it.
When Sister Lily says,
They must have reached the royal capital by now, and I hope their exams will go well.
Then he remarks,
I share the same hope.
And then Faith finally says,
Where is the exam being held?
So, you suggest this might be happening, but what are you eating currently? Then Faith replies,
This grade? If it's purpose nekas, do you want to consume it as well?
But Yuno refuses, and they both reach the entrance of the Magic Night exam, and there all the people are cheering, all the participants, and there the numbers are being given by looking at the green ward of all the participants. And everyone is shocked to see Yuno's grimoire, and then they both go inside. But there are a lot of birds roaming here. Then a person tells,
It is renowned as an anti-bird. The fewer magical abilities you possess, the more birds flock to you.
Then he observes there is not even a single bird near Juno, and Tabasta comments,
Should one of us ascend to the rank of Visit King, this marks the start of our journey.
And we see that there are a lot of anti-birds around Faith, seeing which people start laughing and are shocked. When a man meets a man, Faith thinks,
Who is this after all? Looking at its eyes, it looks like it is a killer, and how much power it has. How can this be my age? But wait, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
and he says,
Actually, you look much older than your age. It seems that your life is cut with many difficulties.
and then that man grabs the head of Asta and says, it seems you are very fond of dying, and then his companions come looking for him. Then a girl says,
This is a very famous final roll case which has a lot of rare space. Then there's real magic.
a person says,
This one just leaves his job and keeps flirting, and this is the other Borden Agrippa, and he has hack magic.
and then Fennel says,
Let's just say a Magic Knight squad captain can't kill an exam candidate.
then a person says,
What does Captain Scott imply? This is about Yamishu, the hero of the Load of Destruction.
and then a girl says,
Is this the same Yami who is the captain of the blackboard? This guard has done damage everywhere.
then some people say,
I've never been to this guard.
I want Faith to think,
I met the wrong man.
and start to redeem your head. Then we see fireworks are starting to happen for the exam. Then Yami says, I think you got a second chance, so don't show anything about it. Then I will kill you as a father, whoever hears. Asta gets surprised, and then those people leave there, and then a person there asks Asta how he is and tells his name, Saiki Bronzaza. Then Asta also says hello to him and tells his name, and then we see all the squad captains come there and then says this.
Who are these people after all?
Then Faith says this is the real Magic Knight Scott captains, and then we are being told about all the Scott captains, and then there comes the captain of the best Scott whose name is William Venges. Then we are told that the power of all 9 squad captains is equal to 100 images, and one of these will be made the new Visit King. Then Faith is looking for Visit King. Then Saike says,
The Visit King will not come to such a small event. Seeing all the captains together is nothing short of a miracle.
Then said Captain William.
Everyone, listen carefully. I will take all the tests of this exam.
And then they call down a tree from the air with their magic, which gives them all a flying broom. Then Faith and thinking like this, then it means, this is the person who is closest to becoming a visiting team. Then Captain William says,
Let's begin the exam now. In a short while, the first test will commence, and all 9 of us will assess your performance accordingly. We will give you the numbers, and when the exam is over, we will all invite some of you candidates into your own Scots. If you suck 1 Scot, then you will go there, but if you suck more than 1 Scot, then you will decide which Scot you want to go to. But if you, when a Scot captain does not choose, you will be disqualified, so come on. For the first test, you will have to fly with this broom. Only the table that can control its strength will be able to do it easily, but this is an easy way to do it. Travel, and if you can't do that, you shouldn't be here. So let's start now.
and then we see a lot of candidates are able to fly in the air, and Yuno is able to fly in the air without any trouble, and here Faith is not able to do anything, and all the squad captains, they definitely take notice of it. Following that, Captain Crimson Lion considers the thoughts of Captain Fugolian Vermilion.
Even without any talent, it should at the very least remain afloat.
Then he says,
After all, what are you doing? All you have to do is relax your body. After that, you can do it easily.
but we will see. Faith was still unable to do anything, and here we see Captain Noza Silva, Scott of the Silver Eagle, goes to meet a girl and says,
As I've mentioned to you previously, royalty has no necessity to take this exam, and your future path has already been determined, so cease indulging in such pointless actions.
and then that girl, it says so.
I comprehend, my dear brother Noel.
Then Captain Nozzle says,
In any case, this doesn't concern you.
and we go from there and we see that till today we would not have been able to do anything in any exam, but he still doesn't give up. Then Captain William says,
So now we This marks the commencement of the final round of the exam, where you will be required to engage in combat with one another.
After that, Captain Barbarian comments,
You all get ready. You have to choose one of your partners and fight with the help of your grimoire. As a knight, we must come to fight. So that's what we want to see.
Then Captain William says,
This exam will continue until one accepts defeat or is unable to fight, and those who are injured. This is the healing mage for them, so fight with full fervor.
Then Faith thinks,
Is this the final one? I've yet to take any action. Now I must battle a formidable opponent to showcase my skills.
Then Faith is granted permission to combat, and their confrontation is set to commence as Faith declares.
Therefore, let us invest all our efforts to attain our objective.
Since then, he has come to her and said so much.
Stop exerting effort. You're merely a worthless rodent in an incorrect location. I ought to express gratitude for your presence here, as you shall now assist me in entering my magical nights. I had a splendid time with you, so let's conclude this swiftly, allowing me to easily return to the village.
Then a person thinks,
It accomplished an excellent job absorbing a week's worth of opponent.
and their battle commences as Zeke proclaims.
So let's start now.
Having Faith builds a protective shield and continues to think.
What do you think of this advanced technique, Captain? It not only defends against external magic, but also launches magical projectiles. It will counteract his futile attacks effortlessly, and when he's thoroughly exhausted, I will strike using this skill.
And he says,
Tell me now, what can you accomplish?
Then everyone observes the Faith. How I wish I
could fight this girl. The grimoire is also very useless. Do you think he can also use magic? And I don't think he will be selected in any squad?
Then Faith says,
People I came,
and we observe them moving at full speed.
come and put your sword on Psyche.
He attacks, which breaks his magic, which everyone is surprised to see. Then Faith says,
I'm not joining Magic Night to have a good time like you. I have bigger goals than that. I want to be a wizard king one day.
Then here you think, this will not defeat you. I will defeat your Faith. Then some people say,
Could they really do all this? Who really wants to be king?
Then here says Funeral.
I didn't like the rest of the task. It will have so much power.
Then Yami says,
This is not a magical power. I don't think there's any magic to it.
and think.
That's when I thought, why didn't I feel any magical power from it at that time? But he's still saying that this Visit King will become a Visit King? Is it a joke?
And here we see, the rest of the contestants also start fighting among themselves and then call a person to fight and say to him,
Want you. Pole Leaf Clover is chosen, but you're not royalty, so I'll tell you. How low is our status of power to us? Now I will tell you a memorable story. So let's get ready to listen in your village now.
And then he makes a lightning ball with his magic and attacks Juno. And then Juno makes a tornado with his wind magic. And we see that person also gets caught in that tornado. And we see Juno wins and then calls Captain William in the evening.
Now this exam is over. When your number comes, please come forward.
Then Blue Rose says Captain Charlotte.
If a Magic Knight captain raises his hand in your turn, then you can go to his squad, and you can also refuse. And if more than one captain raise your hand, it will be your will to decide where you want to go.
And then Captain Vermilion speaks.
And if no captain raises his hand, you get out of here.
Then we'll see. All the people are being called one by one, out of which some are selected, and the rest are going out. And then we see Juno is called there, and we see in her turn, all the captains raise their hands, which everyone is shocked to see. Then Faith thinks,
This was amazing. Everyone wants to have him on their team. Finally, this is my rifle.
Then No thinks I should choose the code that will make me visit King very soon. And then there's Captain William's squad. Golden chooses Dawn, and then we see Asta's number comes, and we see Asta's turn. No one is raising his hand, seeing which Asta gets shocked, and everyone is asking him to leave there. Then Captain Yami says,
There is no surprise in this. It doesn't matter how good you are in battle, no one will take someone in their team whose power no one knows anything about. Because after all captains are looking for magical powers.
And then, Captain Yami. Everyone starts showing their power and reaches out to Faith. Everyone is shocked to see their power. Then Faith thinks,
If this pressure is too high, then this is the magical power of a squad captain.
Then Captain Yami says,
If you don't have any basic power, then you don't need anyone. And that's the reality. And like you said earlier, that you want to be a wizard king, then you should know that your all 9 captains should be better and standing in front of me now. Or you can say that you will become the visit king, even if you have no magical powers. Do you still think so?
Then Faith says,
What is this? Would you like me today? Don't get a chance to join Magic Night, and it doesn't matter what anyone says. No matter how much I have to talk, I will not give up until I become the Visit King.
Captain Yami starts laughing out loud, and they say,
Oh boy, if you like me, let's join my scout.
He and everyone else are shocked. Then Captain Yami says,
Haven't you heard I'm giving you a chance to join the Black Bulls? And you don't even have an option to refuse anyway. And it's not going to be easy. We will make you so that you will not even recognize yourself. So be ready, and when we have done all this, and then you will go and become the Wizard King.
And then Asta starts remembering her journey, and she gets happy, and here we see, the participants who are not selected are sent back, and then the Faith tells you no.
Now you're in the Golden Dawn, and I'm in the Black Bulls. Since then, our real battle starts.
And we see that only then Asta's stomach gets upset, and he starts running towards the washroom after seeing her. He thinks the truth.
Or do you really think that you can easily escape by insulting me in front of so many people? Because of you, I got a lower rank magic cord called Green Love Mentis, and then...
He summons a poison lizard with his magic and starts sending it to Faith. Then we see Juno catch that lizard with his wind magic and say, What are you doing after all? Then Shaq says this.
I was just joking. I just wanted to know which one of us was better.
Rayuno says, Get out of here. You are not fit to fight with Faith. And then Kay leaves, and then Faith comes out, and they both go their own way. Then Captain Yami says,
I think